Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah. What's the highest praise?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Thank you,
Hallelujah.
Jesus. Hallelujah.
I just thank God for just allowing me to be here another day. He's giving us another chance. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. This morning I'm going to be coming from Mark chapter 5. The book of Mark, the 5th chapter. Thank God for just allowing me to be here another day. I thank God for Pastor Jones, First Lady Jones. I thank God for all the ministers, deacons, everybody in their respective places. Amen. I thank God for my wife. Amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Another day, another chance to get it right. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We're not perfect, but we strive for perfection. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Mark chapter 5, starting in verse 1, and we're going to read to the 13th verse. And it says, "And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit,
Yes.
who had his dwelling among the tombs.
Right.
And no man could bind him, no, not with chains."
Yes.
Not with chains. Verse 4, "Because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces. Neither could any man tame him." Verse 5, "And always night and day he was in the mountains, and in the tombs crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped." Something about that name.
Yes. Yes, God.
There's something about Jesus.
Jesus.
Verse 7, "And cried with a loud voice and said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God, of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit.
Yes.
And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country.
Yes.
Now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding. And all the devils besought him, saying, Send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. And forthwith Jesus gave them leave. And the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine. And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. There were about 2,000, and they were choked in the sea."
Yes.
May the Lord add a blessing to the readers, hearers, and doers of his word. Amen.
Amen.
Lord, we thank you and we praise you, Lord, for just allowing us to be able to be here another morning. Lord, we thank you, Lord, for speaking to us. Open up our understanding, Lord. We decrease, Lord, that you increase in our lives, Lord. Lord, I pray, Lord, have your way in this place. Open up our ears, Lord. Allow us to hear, Lord. Allow us to see what it is that you're saying. In Jesus' name we pray and ask it all. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah. The title of my message is "The Devil Drove Me to It."
Yeah.
And so, when we go back and we look at verse 3, it was talking about this demoniac, and they said his dwelling was among the tombs. So I'm looking at that word dwelling. So he stayed in a dark place. He stayed in a place, when we look and we think about a graveyard. A graveyard is a place where obsolete objects are held. We have some graveyards that are clean. Some graveyards are nice. We got the nice, pretty tombstones where we can walk and we don't have any problems. Then we got those other graveyards. We have a graveyard in Miami in particular that at night you'll find yourself walking across the street because it looks creepy. But you have graveyards that are peace, that are peaceful. You have graveyards that are quiet. But you have other ones that are downright scary. Here it is, this man was dwelling in a graveyard. The question is, what is your graveyard? What's causing you to be stagnant? See, the thing about it is when we look at sin, we see sin and we thinking that, oh no, my life is good. I'm not doing everything that everybody else is doing. But when you're stagnant, when you're in a place and it seems quiet, but is that the place that you're supposed to be? Is this where you're supposed to be? Is this where God intended for you to be? Verse 5 said, and always, night and day, he was in a mountain and in the tombs crying and cutting himself with stones. Screaming out. This is a lot of us. We have those midnight hours. You know, the things that people don't see.
Yeah.
The silent hurts.
Yeah.
You know, the things that we don't voice, but we, in our heart, is really bothering us. He's saying that's where he dwelled at. He cut himself, crying, because something was missing.
Right.
John chapter 8, verse 31 reads, then said Jesus to the Jews, to those Jews which believed on him, if you continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? They said that we wasn't in bondage. We was never in bondage to any man. See, that's that peaceful graveyard experience. Man don't have me in bondage because they missed it.
Yeah.
But we got alcohol. We got drugs. We got a spirit of perversion. We got lying spirits. We got that spirit that causes our hand just to take things. You know how when you get and you take stuff that don't belong to you?
Yeah.
We got a corrupt communication spirit. We always talking about somebody.
Yeah.
We can't wait to get the latest gossip. We can't wait to get in with the latest gossip. Give me that latest tea. I want to hear it. We walk around in the spirit of deception. We walk around in the spirit of gluttony, meaning that we want to eat everything in sight. We don't know how to say no. We don't know how to push away. We will fight over food.
Yes, sir.
That's the spirit of gluttony.
Amen.
We walk around in the spirit of disobedience. I don't care what the words say. I don't care what my boss say. I don't care what my parents say. See, these are the things that we walk around. We walk around in a religious spirit. You know, when we come to church, we clap, we sing, and then we go home, and it's back to normal. It's back to usual. See, you wasn't in bondage to any man, but you was in bondage. See, those thoughts, see, you don't have no peace. You don't have no peace. Why? Because you got a spirit of worry in your mind, because you worried about what's going to happen next. You panicking. Jesus answered him, verily, verily, I say unto you, this is verse 34. Whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin.
Yeah.
And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. And if the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. See, these are those things that we have no control over. But Jesus said that you are a servant to sin. So now think about it. A servant. A slave. See, our ancestors, they didn't have a voice. So, when you don't have a voice, then it doesn't matter what you think or say. See, their voice was master. Master told them when to eat. Master told them when to sleep. Master told them when to drink. See, Master said that you're going to do this. Master had them fighting against each other.
Yeah.
Master said, you know what? I'm going to separate you.
Right.
I'm going to separate the husbands from their wives. That's how sin is. See, sin, you don't have no control. Why? Because when that spirit tell you what to do,
Yeah.
you can't help but to do it. Then it goes back to the devil made me do it. See, Flip Wilson used to say that all the time in his skit, the devil made me do it. And sometimes we used to run with it. Oh man, the devil made me do it. But when you really think about it, the devil really made you do it. Those spirits. See, because you don't have no control.
Yeah.
See, the thing about it is, when you up late at night and you can't get no sleep, you warring in your mind.
Come on.
Man, I was listening to some music the other day, and they was talking about porn. And they was talking about how people were addicted to porn. And the thing about it is, it's so true, because when that spirit is in your life,
Yeah.
you have no control.
Come on.
It's going to drive you to do whatever you need to do, because that flesh is burning. And when that flesh is burning, the only thing you can do is scratch it. See, the thing about it is, when we go back here, when we look over here at the 13th verse, it says, and forthwith Jesus gave them leave, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine. And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. See, when we talk about violently, it says using or involving physical force intended to hurt, damage, or kill someone or something. Them demons jumped into them swine and they drove them off the cliff.
Come on.
Them demons was in that demoniac, and it drove him to that graveyard. He couldn't leave. He couldn't be tamed. That's where they drove him at. Where are those spirits driving you? A lot of them, what happened? We run to that alcohol because we think that's what's going to solve the problem. So what happens? We go and we drink.
Yeah.
But once we come out of it, his life is normal. You got to deal with the problems. You dealing with a spirit of perversion.
Come on.
You going to run to everybody that say hello. Every pretty lady that say hi. You going to have your mouth wide open. Every man that say, you looking good. Oh, a light bulb just went off. That's the one. When that spirit is in control,
Yeah.
guess what? You're going to do whatever it wants you to do.
Come on.
You're a slave to sin. I say, listen here, we not no slaves. No man don't have bondage over us. He say, listen, it ain't about man. John chapter 10, verse 10. The thief come not but to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yes, sir.
I come that they may have life and that life more abundant. See, you have to remember, and this was something that Pastor said last week in his message, and it stuck with me. They say, remember, Satan is a hater. And see, with him being a hater, he's going to bring other haters around you.
That's it.
He's going to bring other haters in your life to question you,
Yes, sir.
to accuse you,
Come on.
and to bring doubt.
Yeah.
Do you know you have those friends and they question everything that you do? You sure you want to do that? Why you want to do that? I don't know about that. Why? Because, see, God had already spoke something to you. He wanted you to do it, but Satan, here go his band of haters come around that we call friends.
Right.
I don't know about that. See, the thing about it is, we look at it as haters like, oh my goodness, just my friends on the outside. It's in the church too.
Church, watch it.
You know, you get those people We call them parking lot prophets.
Watch
Where they want to always come and speak a word to you.
Oh, man.
They want to speak a word to you in secret. Let me pick up the phone. Let me call you. Man, you know what? This is what the Lord was showing me. No. Listen, don't tell me what the Lord is showing me. Listen. God can speak to anybody. But the thing about it is, when he bring you a word, it don't even matter until you receive that word.
Yes, sir.
See, the thing about it is, before he bring you a word, he going to speak it to you yourself.
Come on now.
Meaning that it's got to be revealed in you. It's got to be revealed to you. Now, we might have a word, and we can give you that word. God haven't released it or spoken it to you yet. But it's not going to be established until he speaks it to you, until your eyes are open. See, so when everybody coming up wanting to speak a word, listen, in one ear and out the next.
Yeah.
See, because everybody want to hear God want to bless you. God want to bless you with some money. He want to bless you with a honey. He want to bless you with a car. See, we receptive to those words. Like I said, you get a prophet come up in here, you gonna know you don't want him to speak to you. See, because the prophet gonna let you know you better get your house in order.
Amen.
See, in the way that they do it, they're not gonna put you out on blast. They're not gonna call your sins out. See, because the Holy Ghost know how to operate, but they'll let you know, like, listen here, God sees all, he knows all. See, he know what you're doing. Remember, we talked about Ezekiel. God say, come up here, Ezekiel. I'm going to take you a little higher. Look at that hole. I want you to go through that hole, dig through it. Ezekiel began to dig through it. Next thing you know, he say, look at what the people are doing. That they think I don't see. See, God see that secret stuff. He see that secret sin. He know what's in your heart. Who we trying to fool? Satan's going to bring his haters to question,
Yes, sir.
to accuse you,
Yes, sir.
and to try to bring down. And I don't know. Ooh. We ask people, hey, how did this do? How was this? How did this work? How did I look? Ooh, I don't know. Man, maybe that's not for you. And so what happens? Next thing you know, you begin to doubt yourself. You know, I was sitting there and I was talking to Sister Jones this week. And, you know, I'm like, when I'm in a classroom, I'm myself. When I walk up in that school, I'm myself. Meaning that I didn't go to school to be an educator. So I don't know those mannerisms. I don't know how you're supposed to conduct yourself. Matter of fact, when I gave my life to the Lord, even though I grew up in church, I hated church. But then I got into a church that wasn't about formality. So when I'm in the street, when I came up in the church, I don't do church people stuff. See, I couldn't act like everybody was acting. I can't do what everybody else is doing. When I'm at that school, I don't look like everybody else. Don't be me. I don't talk like everybody else. I'm going to talk like me. When God saved me, he saved me how I was. Next thing you know, his word began to change me. Too many times we try to fit in. Too many times we try to do what everybody else is doing. I can't do what everybody else is doing because God ain't called me to be like everybody else. You know the thing about it is, he said, listen here. See, I wasn't qualified when I got that job. I wasn't qualified when I got up in this pulpit. But what I was called. See, when you call, he's going to qualify you. See, the thing about it is, it's going to be some things that we're going to go through. It's going to be some things that we have to walk in this life. But his word got to be evident. See, we're going to go through some things. We're going to go, that's why we got to take it. We got this life, this walk is serious.
Amen.
He said, I'm going to bring some people up in that's going to bring forth doubt. They're going to have you doubt everything that you do. Such and such teaches better. Such and such leads better. Such and such does this job much such and such prays better. When you in school, oh, this girl danced better. You not, I don't know if you should be a running back or not.
Amen.
You should let somebody else shoot that shot. See, haters are designed to bring that doubt in you. And what happens? When you begin to doubt, you begin to push away what God has called you to do. Say the thief come not but to steal, kill, and destroy. But I come that you might have life and this life more abundant. See, Luke chapter 12 tells us, in the meantime, verse 1, in the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trod upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Verse 3, therefore whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the car and closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. In the ear and closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. 1 Samuel 16:7 reads, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not at the conscience, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the hearts. Say, listen, watch out. Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees.
Yeah.
The Bible tells us just a little leaven is going to leaven the whole world.
Amen.
That leaven is yeast. When you throw a little bit of yeast in flour, it's going to rise. And it's going to take complete control. Oh my goodness. That's that sin. All it takes is just a little. You know how when we entertain the people, all it takes is just one open door.
Amen.
I'll never get in. Because all it took was that one open door. You know that conversation, that remark that we shouldn't have said, but then we said it, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it opens up the door and leads to something else. And you feel and you wonder, how did I get in this position? Sometimes you gotta watch our mouth.
Amen.
Because all it takes is just a little leaven. Just a leaven of hope. Oh man, that's just a small little lie. Just a small little lie. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Lord, no, I need food. I had to lie on that. I had to lie on my application. All it takes is just a little leaven. See, because what happens is when you find yourself lying once, you're gonna find yourself lying again and again and again. Because you're always gonna need something. When Jesus said, I already got it. All you have to do is just trust me. See, we have to remember that this is a process. This is a process. Remember when we was babies? When you was a baby, your parents encouraged you to walk.
Yeah.
Some did it. Some did it directly. Some did it indirectly. They put you in a walk. Use them legs, build up that strength so you can walk. Look at what God did. If ye then being evil know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things that ask him? That's Matthew 7:11. See, the thing about it is when our kids was young, we encouraged them to walk. Every time that they fail, we picked them up and say, you can do it. Don't worry about it. They failed many times because they wanted to run. But we was there to pick them up, to help them out. We just the natural father. We just the earthly father. But we got a Father that's greater. What you think He's doing in our life? He know that you're going to make some mistakes. He know that your walk is not going to always be good at times. But He's there to pick you up.
Yes, sir.
Dust you off and say, you can do it. All we have to do is just trust Him. See, we talked about it and I said, listen, don't come to church just to be here at church. See, the church is the hospital. When we get into the hospital, we get medicine, we get better, we leave out. Now we need to be that church. See, the church is the hospital, but now we need to be that hospital on wheels. See, when we get up in the hospital, we don't reject the medicine. Only a fool will reject the medicine. Because then it defeats the purpose of why you even here. See, you must not be in too bad of a shape, or else you wouldn't need it. See, when we come to Jesus, Jesus is looking and he's like, listen, I didn't come for those that are already well, but I came for the sick.
Amen.
See, you have to know your condition when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're going to accept that medicine. Matthew 5:13 reads, "Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and to give it light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." We are that church on wheels. Meaning that we come here every Sunday. We got to receive something. And so once we receive it, then guess what? Now we need to go. And we need to be that mobile unit throughout the week.
Amen.
We walk and we bump into people every day, whether it's work, store, on the streets, at the park, it don't matter. We bump into somebody, and somebody is looking and need a word. When are you going to take what you've been receiving here? When are you going to apply it and then give it? See, that's what it's all about. Building up disciples. Being a disciple. See, when you show your good work, it's not going to glorify you,
Amen.
but it's going to glorify God. And that's where a lot of us get lost in. Because what happens is we want the glory. We want people to say, "Thank you. Awesome job. Without you, I never would have made it." See, we want people to say that. You know how when you get to the door, somebody coming in, you hold the door. We waiting on them to say, "Thank you." If not, we have a problem. Instead of just doing it out of the kindness of your heart. It's innate. It's in you. Boom, here you go. And I'll walk off. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say thank you. You don't have to give me a response. Why? Because I'm not looking for it. See, God is looking for a people that's going to say, it's not about me,
Amen.
Lord, it's about you.
Yes, Lord.
We want to be disciples. Ephesians 6:19 reads, "And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly, to make known the mystery of the gospel." Verse 20, "For which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak." Hold on. See, that's what we forget sometimes. See, we forget that we're an ambassador. Meaning that we're Christ's representative here on this earth.
Amen.
People have to know who to come to in a time of crisis. See, when you're in a foreign country, you run to your embassy whenever something is going on.
Amen.
Whenever there's an uproar in another country, you go to your embassy. Because your embassy is basically U.S. soil on their territory. So they can't come against that, or else they come against the U.S. Where we're an ambassador, people should be able to run and see us. They should be able to run and come to us in a time of trouble. And we have to be able to render aid in a time of need. See, the thing about it is, it's no more just talking. But this is a living word. This is a real word.
Amen.
Meaning, this word has power.
Yes.
But But you have to believe it. Things are going to happen. Things are going to take place. But you have to believe it. You have to know. Man, I remember when we pulled up and I'm dropping my son off. I told you guys this story before. I dropped my son off to daycare. Well, me and his teacher had built a rapport where she knew that I was of the faith. I would come in, we would minister to one another. One morning, the classroom was pretty quiet. And I'm like, dang. I'm like, usually you, now 4 and 5 year olds, they already running around the class. All of them was sitting. See, God know how to set the scene. And the teacher came up and said, hey, listen, lady had a problem. She started having seizures. God had me there right in the right place at the right time. All of that training that I had been receiving, I had just got out of a training that week. We had just had a deliverance training that week, and showed up Monday morning, a woman having seizures. God know how to set you up. And I'm like, I say, listen, get the napkins. And I begin to bind up the spirits. The spirit of infirmity. I bind up the spirit of sickness, disease. And she began to cough and it began to come out. I looked at her and I said, hey, how you feel? And she was like, okay. And she just started crying. And I left. The next day, no, it was later that day when I went to pick up my son, her husband was there. And they was like, man, thank you so much. We have to be in a place where we can render aid to anybody in a time of need.
Amen.
See, Jesus said, the works that I do, you're going to be able to do and great.
Amen.
See, we look at it and we look at it like, oh, spooky. Man, this is a real word.
Amen.
You're going to come up against some real things. This battle, we sit up here and we talk about spiritual warfare. We good when we minister and we praying and we talking about binding up spirits. But you see a spirit in your house, you're going to get a different reaction. It's time out for playing games.
Amen.
It's time out for playing around. See, the thing about it is, we don't have time to play. Because the state of the church
Amen.
is Hollywood.
Amen.
See, we don't Hollywood Christians. We want to get up there, we want to do our dance. We want to get our two-step on. We want the minister to get on the organ so we can jump around. But then you stop when the music stops.
Uh-huh.
See, it was all just it was a routine. Basically, you was at home practicing. Wait, boy, I can't wait for that beat to drop. I can't wait for them to do it because I got to dance for them. It's not real life. And that's the reason why your walk is like that. See, your walk, we can choose when we want to be obedient and we can choose when we want to be disobedient. We choose when we want to lift somebody up and we can choose when we want to cut somebody out. We choose when we do it. And we think that that's God. And he's sitting up there saying, listen, I see everything. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing in that secret place. See, I see your heart. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9 reads, but you are a chosen generation. You're a royal priest of the holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. We're a chosen generation. A peculiar people. God say, listen here. You can't stay stuck in the same position that you came in. You can't come in a hospital and you leaving out the same way that you came in. That was because you rejected the medicine. You can't come into church and leave out the same way that you came in, unless you reject his word. See, the Bible tells us that it's a path that leads to life. Matthew 7:13 says, enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go within thereat. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. See, it's only a few that's going to be able to find that straight and narrow gate. See, this walk that we live is a straight and it's a narrow path. See, you can't go all over the place. Things are going to happen. But see, you have to remember that you're not your own.
Amen.
You're not what you used to be. You're not yourself.
Yeah.
Matthew 5:6, blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Amen.
What are we hungering? What are we thirsting after? What do we want? Do we want more of him? See, because when we want more of him, we know how to make up our mind. You know, one of the things about it is, whenever we find our place in a position where we really need God to move, we know how to get in his word.
Amen.
We will not put that word down.
Amen.
We are going to read that word till we find something.
Amen.
Then all of a sudden, when life evens back out, then we put that word away. He said, but listen, when you begin to hunger and thirst after righteousness,
Amen.
you're going to be filled. Galatians 5:16 through the 21st verse reads, this I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusted against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. So hold on. We got a spirit, and the flesh is warring against one another. And they're battling to see who's going to take control. What does that mean? I remember the Lord told me when I gave my life to the Lord for the final time. And I was like, Lord, I'm for real this time. Because you know, we do it many times. Lord, this time, this is real. This serious. I need your help. The Lord told me, he said, listen here. I kid you not. Lord said, listen here. If you want to be kept, I can keep. He told me that. I was 17. You want to be kept, I can keep. Just do what I tell you. Lord, I got you. I'll do it. My ex-girlfriend stayed across the street. He said, don't say nothing to her no more. Now me, I question God. Well, God, that's rude. That's rude. You know, I can't say hi. He said, don't question. He said, don't say nothing to her. And you know what I did? I didn't say anything to her from that day. That day on. Until I got out of boot camp. But here's the thing. God was doing something.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't been obedient, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. See, by me doing that, the Lord spoke to me and said, you're going to the military. But he was specific. He said, you're going to the Navy. All I had to do was just trust him. And guess what? He kept me.
Yes, sir.
Our spirit, the flesh is warring against one another. But when we open up the door, you know how when we be watching those late night movies and we see something that we really ain't supposed to see, and it's like, ooh, and you already battling with a spirit of loneliness. And so what happens? Now, you know, you all hot and bothered in the bed, you can't sleep because that flesh and that spirit is warring against each other.
Yes, sir.
You know, when we hang around our friends and you say, Lord, I'm trying to keep me, help me from stealing. I'm not going to steal anymore. but you hang around the wrong group, the wrong crowd, and then all of a sudden you find yourself taking something that you ain't got no business doing because you don't want to look like a punk. The flesh and the spirit is one against each other. They're contrary. Say, listen. Verse 18, but if ye be led by the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like. Of the which I tell you there before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Stop opening up doors. Stop opening up doors. I remember when I first got saved, I got rid of all my CDs, all my music CDs, because I knew they had taught us about it. They watch what you put in. So I got rid of all my CDs. A lot of us, what we do is we try to hold on to things. You know, we had an alcohol sitting up there in that cabinet, and you know you have a problem with it. You know you battle with a spirit of drunkenness, but you want to hold it up there for just in case. Because we think that we strong. We think that we done supercharged. And now I got this, God. See, we're not doing what we did to get where we were at now. See, before we was up at the altar praying, we woke up early before we went to work, and we was praying. We woke up before we had a job, and we was praying. But as soon as we get comfortable, then all of a sudden, we put everything to the side. You gotta watch it. Mark chapter 5, verse 18 through 20. And when he was come into the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him. Howbeit Jesus suffered him not, but said unto him, Go home to thy friends and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and have had compassion on thee. And he departed and began to publish in the Decapolis how great things Jesus had done for him. And all men did marvel. The demoniac's first decision was to leave the graveyard. His first decision was to leave the graveyard. The demon's first decision was to go into the swine and run off a cliff and kill everything, destroy everything that it drove. The demoniac, when he was free, he in his right mind said, I got to get him out of here because I don't belong here. See, when God free you, when he deliver you, you're going to look at your surroundings and something's going to click and you're going to be like, I don't belong here.
Amen.
I'm out of place. But only he can do that. Only he can do that. Only he can give you deliverance. See, the thing about it is, there's no more bondage. John chapter 11, verse 43 and 44 reads, and I'm going to end with this. And when he had thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth. He was bound hand and foot with grave clothes on, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus said unto him, Loose him, let him go.
Yes, sir.
See, what's going to be your decision? Are you going to sit around in your grave clothes? Are you going to sit around in that grave with those tombs with dead people being obsolete, meaning that you don't have no value? Where God can't use you? Or are you going to say, Lord, deliver me so I can get up out of this place?
Yeah.
It's your decision. Meaning that sometimes we got to cut some people off.
Amen.
See, because when God's trying to take you, Only thing they're going to do is hinder you because, see, you think they're your friends. See, but let me let you in on the secret. See, we could have been cool since we was little. We were cool. But the thing about it is, when I gave my life to the Lord, God became my father. Satan's still your father. And see, just like sin, being a slave to it, Satan, you're going to do whatever Satan tells you to do. And so, you thinking that you're on assignment to help this person out because it's your buddy. When God's saying, listen here, I didn't call you. I didn't call her. I called you. See, because not everybody's going to be willing to walk this walk.
Amen.
See, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you'll know how to change some things.
Amen.
See, God knows how to clean up, and He knows how to take you out of some situations. He knows how to turn your life around. See, the thing about it is, you might not have been nothing your whole life. That was me. See, I remember coming up as a kid. I used to speak that on my life every day. I'm nothing. I'm a low life. Because I was around a bunch of other low lives. Because that's what we was brought into. That was our mentality. So, when that's your mentality and God ended up changing you and He opened up your eyes and then all of a sudden, hold on. You mean it's more to this world than Carroll City? See, that's where I was from. It's more to this world than Como? Oh my goodness, hold on. God, you mean you trying to take me, I can be over here, I can stay over here? You mean I can have a house over here? I don't have to have this one house right here, this shotgun house? You mean you'll do better for me? See, when He wake you up,
Amen.
He let you know, He say, listen here, you belong to me. See, I called you out of that darkness into my marvelous light. I'm your provider. I'm going to open up doors for you. All you got to do is just let me in.
Amen.
Let me in and let me take control. We're going to go through some things. We're going to go through some ups. We're going to go through some downs. People are going to accuse you. You're going to get fired. Does that mean that you did something? No. That means it is what it is.
Amen.
Pick yourself up. Go. It's not the end of the world.
Amen.
Sometimes we get too serious. And we act like nothing is supposed to happen. I'm not supposed to have a flat tire. My car is not supposed to break down. The pipes in my house shouldn't bust. We should have a perfect life. The devil is a lie.
Amen.
We're staying on earth. We do not belong here. We're pilgrims. We're passing through. The thing about it is, things are going to happen. Things are going to take place. But God say, all I need you to do is trust me. I am your provider. When we know Him like that, He ain't worried about nothing else. Sometimes you ain't going to have no money in your pocket. That don't mean that you ain't got it. See, because God knows how to bring somebody at the right time. See, I know this. See, because we was at the commissary on base. I'm in the military. How you don't have money in the military? It's like that. We didn't have no money. I knew we didn't have no money. But we was at the commissary. We was shopping. We get up to the cash register. I handed the star card. Beep. Decline. And I'm like, dang. And a lady behind me saying, I got you. You never know what God is going to do.
Amen.
So you know what I did? Maybe 5, 7 years later, I'm in a grocery store.
Yeah.
And a guy and this girl was there. They get Pampers and all kinds of stuff.
Amen.
Short. Don't worry, I got you. See, when God blesses us, He ain't blessing us just for us.
Amen.
But He's blessing us to be a blessing to others. See,
Amen.
when we figure it out, when we get it, we go through this stuff. See, when we go through sickness in our body, man, that stuff ain't to death.
Amen.
It's not to die. Speak to your body. I speak and I decree healing. Why? Because healing is the children's bread. But you won't know that if you don't get in his word. And you keep proclaiming it over your body, over your life. He said, why? Because I'm trying to work on the inside of you.
Yeah.
See, because the thing about it is what you don't see is a couple of years down the road, somebody going to be in the same position as you.
Amen.
But now you're going to be able to tell them, listen here, been there, done that. Let me tell you what God did in my life.
Amen.
And guess what? God ain't a respecter of person. That means that if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. If he did it for the prophets of old, he'll do it for you. God is there to do it for us. He's saying, man, I'm here. I'm your everything. You're going to go through some things, but it's okay because I got you. All you got to do is learn how to carry yourself. You learn how to carry yourself. Why? Because people need to see you in your ups. People need to see you in your downs. People need to see, are you going to be the same?
Amen.
Are you going to be consistent? Sometimes we're not consistent. Sometimes we want to give a word. Boy, I'm blessed and highly favored of the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Next thing you know, and we give them that look. When we mean much, we done sucked on something sour. You better not approach me. You got that fight face on. So they don't know which one to go to. Oh, now I'm going to stay away from them. Not today. He don't look like you're in a good mood. God say, I want consistency. Meaning that I know how to praise him when I'm up. I know how to praise him when I'm down. Everything is going to be the same. Why? Because I know that it's only a test.
Amen.
See, the thing about it, this too shall pass.
Amen.
See, your situation going to turn around, but you just got to stand in that spirit of expectation. See, because when you're standing in expectation, manifestation has to take place. See, the thing about it, that all you have to do is just trust me. He said, just trust me. I got you. You don't have it, don't worry. I got it. And if it's mine, it's yours. What's your decision? Are you going to continue to let the devil drive you to do things? Because we see what them demons want to do. Them demons want to tear you apart. They want to battle in your mind. They want to tear your mind apart where you don't have no peace. But God said, I came to give you that peace. That's going to surpass all understanding. See, people ain't even going to understand. How could you have peace in turmoil? You just don't even know.
Amen.
God is saying, I'll do it for you. But you got to make that decision. It's yours. Come out of the grave. Like he told Lazarus, take them grave clothes off.
Yes.
Loose them, let them go. Let your stuff go. Amen.
Amen.